Well, hi there, everyone. Do you trade stocks or trade stock options? Do you have a brokerage account with somebody? Maybe it's a company like TD Ameritrade or E-Trade or Robinhood or gosh knows who could be anybody. Well, I was asked to create a transaction log organizer file, or basically, how do you organize all your trades and look at them historically based on whatever your brokerage firm is, or if you're somehow doing it independently, how would you set it up and how would you fill it out? And I already had something pretty much built for this, and I have some of my own transactions from my TD Ameritrade account over the last few months in here. I thought it was kind of funny to look at this because I was messing around with a few $100s here and there. I think this means I'm down $300 for this 3 month period. We'll have to find out. But the fun part is we'll go through how this works. You can purchase this file. I'm selling it to someone who's asked me to develop it, and it's really easy to create. You can create it on your own. You don't have to pay me for it. You can just watch this video, and you'll start to be able to figure out how to do it yourself anyway. But basically, it's really helpful to see, for example, like how did I do on stocks or stock options for certain companies throughout the year. Well, DLTR is Dollar Tree. And apparently, I made a bunch of money on Dollar Tree during this period of time from, I guess, July till like October or November, maybe, of this year. And that happened. Why? Well, we can see that DLTR is Dollar Tree, and I bought a couple options for like 40 or $50, and at some point, I was able to sell them for $300 and $400 in October, and they had a huge bump because I think they went back and bought some of their own company's stock because they had a bunch of cash lying around. So I was able to have a Dollar Tree option that exploded in value, and that's why I made relatively so much money on Dollar Tree. Now, how did we get there? How did all that happen? What is that all about? Well, there's a data cube sheet, and a data cube sheet is, if you think in terms of shapes, it's a big rectangle. And rectangles have, defined lengths and widths. And in this case, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 columns up here, all the way to K. And it can essentially have infinite, the big asterisk under that word infinite. Really, it's not really infinite, but it's as far down as you can go. And then you can always add to it. So essentially, it could have infinite records sort of in it, in theory, if a computer could hold infinite records. But it can have as many as you're going to need, and that's the length of it. All right. So, well, what about these 11 columns that we have up at the top? What are they about, and what do they do? Well, one thing you need is you need the ticker symbol when it comes to stocks and stock options, because every company has a ticker symbol that is recognized on the exchange, and they are unique, I believe, per exchange for sure. So you have to extract the ticker symbol. This is a formula over here, and it works by looking at the description. If you put the description in correctly, or the description comes in a standard fashion, as it does from TD Ameritrade, you can identify the ticker symbol with this formula that I have in here. It won't work if the structure of this is not the same, and you would have to type in the ticker manually here, which you could do. If you're doing this one by one, that's fine too. So, well, what are the other columns? Well, there's a date of the transaction. There's a transaction ID, which you may or may not need, but may as well have one if you have a unique ID. It can be helpful. There's the description of the trade or the purchase or whatever. There's going to be a buy, or there's going to be a sold, or there's going to be an expiration, or there's going to be moving money in and out of accounts to bank accounts. There's going to be different types of descriptions. And the ones that don't involve stocks, we have a ticker of 0. But this ticker could be, bank account or something, or whatever you want it to be to represent within this table what it was. You can see there's 629 cash transactions somehow, and you've got them by date here. So that's what they're called in this pivot table for now. Is I think I just call them cash. But anyway, the point is as you have the quantities of the trades, you have the symbol that comes in off TD Ameritrade. That's automatic. It's pretty standard. That's what you bought. That's the name of the option. This is Intuitive Surgical. Expires July 16th. It was $1,000 call option, and this is how much it cost. You pay a commission to the brokerage fee to brokerage company to do that. And then you have a total gross amount, and then you have, I don't know what this penny is. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that matters. So the point is this will allow you to table this. You can insert a pivot table, Just go, highlight everything here, and you could insert, pivot table, and you can just create in a new worksheet, and you can start assembling essentially what I have here. You'd be like, oh, well, what do I want? I want the ticker. I care about the ticker. I care about the total price, sum of price of things. I think amount is the other one, right? I don't know. You can see, but I've already done all the work and created this table, which is pretty easy to read. But we could go through pivot table structure in a different video because we already have it ready. So this is how it was made. And it's really cool because it allows you to be like, wow, did I make good decisions or bad decisions on certain stocks throughout this period of time? And the period of time stretches from July 7th to October 6th, okay, according to our date slicer. And I mean, I would just say, all right, well, clearly I have this 34 cents total here. I don't know what this is all about. So things almost balance. There's this cash number, which is 358. So this means something when it comes to our profit and loss for this period of time. I actually don't know the answer to this. So let's open it up and see if we can solve that problem, which is, did I make or lose money? And it looks like, okay, what is this $500? Client requested electronic funding receipt. Okay, that means that I funded the account for $500 on this day. That's what that means. Removals of expirations of things are just options that expired, probably worthless. So I wouldn't worry about these things. Client requested, okay, that's more funding, that's more funding, that's more funding. What about negatives? Electronic funds disbursement is a negative. So this is money going into my bank account from the brokerage account. So I think that's bad news for my trading. I think that means I'm a loser because that means that I put in $358.46 more than I took out during this period of time, and we basically balanced. So that means I lost 300 and almost 60 bucks, guys. So I'm not a professional trader as much as you might think I am with all the stock videos I did. Apparently, I didn't do so well. Now, I don't feel too bad about that, because those who have worked with me and have taken my advice have made a ton of money. You know who you are. I'm one of those people who I never listen to my own advice because I like destroying things, but I give great advice. And even though I lost $1,000 on Moderna, wow, and I lost $500, $600 on Tesla, both of these companies, by the way, you probably heard me talk about them a lot if you hear me do stock videos, they had amazing gains at certain points. Moderna did drop off for a couple reasons more recently. But Tesla especially, I mean, Tesla went berserk. They were over 12. How on earth did I lose? And the answer is really, really risky short-term options, which is why TD Ameritrade actually took over my account and started making trades on my behalf without my knowledge or approval. And that's why I closed my account with them, and that's why I don't mind releasing information about my TD Ameritrade account, because it's going to be gone. What's funny about it is, well, how on earth did I do this? The answer is I sold one big one here. Oh, yeah. I had Moderna at one point. This is funny. I lost $1,000 on Moderna. There was a point where I had, I believe, $7,000 in account value of Moderna options at some point. And then I lost it all in a week because I held it. It like went up. I made like $6,000 in 48 hours, and then I lost it all by that Friday because I refused to sell it because I just watched it die. Because I like watching. I like watching things die, I guess. I don't know. I liked watching it, and I just didn't want to sell because I thought they might go up because I still believe in the company. And it was just funny. And so you can kind of trace how that happened color-wise. Like, clearly, I bought some stuff, and then it's going to have expired. I made some money here on September 10th, but then I really just, everything was a negative, and everything I sold there was at a huge loss or way low. So I held through the wrong period of time and didn't have long enough options, because had I had options that extended a longer period of time, especially on Tesla, I mean, my goodness, Tesla's options, some of these that got sold for like $100 here, if they'd been longer options that went out at, I mean, you could sell these for $20,000 like a month and a half later. It's crazy. So it's funny to watch all that. But this is basically how easy it is to set up a transaction log and to look at it, go through it. I made money on DraftKings. This is funny. I have to end on this. I made money on DraftKings, made $484. Do you know what I was doing with DraftKings? I was buying puts. I was buying. I have only a couple calls. I was betting against them because one, because I write sports algorithms and I know it's a tough business for both sides, but two, I don't like they're not profitable and they close. Oh yeah, they also blocked my account in the middle of week one of the football season and didn't let me bet and for 6 hours and I couldn't bet and I would have won a bunch of money and I was also angry with them and so I closed that account and I started betting on them with puts in the stock market, and I made money because they aren't a profitable company and they're having trouble. So that's funny, and that makes me laugh. Also, Sherwin-Williams I made money on because they are one of the best companies ever. They're in every small town. Everything needs to be painted. You can't help but make money on Sherwin-Williams. So they're awesome. I always tell everybody to buy Sherwin-Williams. They have a dividend. Like, they're great. Dollar Tree was lucky. And Netflix is a good one, too. I think they're a very profitable company. Look at that. Look at that in here you go. 20 days turned 150 bucks into 750. I mean, that's a great trade right there. You can see some of my things were better later in the year. It's like I started off really bad in July there, messing around. But anyway, this is the transaction log. If you want to purchase it, contact me. I haven't really put an exact price on it because there's a lot more that can be done with this, including expanding out your transaction log to include different types of trades and different types of descriptions, and adding in different formulas over here to do some more preliminary calculations on some things that you might be wanting to be looking at in this table. All right, good luck with your trades. I will be doing more stock videos, especially as we go into the new year, and I'm heavy into tax and a bunch of other things that are related to capital gains and things. I'll be talking about those two integrated together. But in the meantime, my advice would be, first of all, these companies that I lost a bunch of money on. All these companies that I lost a bunch of money on, and Abbott Labs because of all the testing going on now, these are great companies. Even though Moderna is getting sued, saying that their technology somehow maybe belonged to somebody else, I don't totally believe it. I don't totally believe that. So I think they'll survive that case eventually. Tesla hires the best engineers, and oh yeah, I've only got 12 days to buy a Tesla. I said I was buying a Tesla by the end of this year. I do have a Cybertruck order in, but that's not coming until probably 2023. So we got to work on this. I said I was going to make enough money this year with Tesla options to buy a Tesla, and I haven't yet. Now, the year is not over, so don't count me out. I have a way of doing amazing things. But it's true, there's only like 12 days left. And in terms of market days, I think there's like 5 market days left. So I don't know how I'm going to pull that off. I'll have to do something creative. All right, well, good luck. We'll see if I can do it.